Bonehawks? This video is all about Mileena. Today we're going to go over her entire moveset from every combo string, her notable normals, her special moves, that you can figure out how to counter against her, because there's a lot of Mileenas online. I play, whenever I go into Kombat League, I usually play at least one every single set. So she's good to know a little bit about. And some people have been saying, can you do one for Smoke? I actually did do one under the guise of our advanced guide. So if you want to see that, I'll just link a little card up here in the corner, so you can go check that out. But that being said, let's get into it.
Accept your death.
And as usual, we're doing this all from the guise of Shang Tsung because he's the character that I know, so that's the character we're going to use. Also, kind of an easy thing that's just a side note is I can just do this, haha, and I can check out the moves list. So let's get into the notable normals. Most of them are pretty good. There's two outliers that I want to talk about. So the first one is her sweep, which is back 4. Yeah, I accidentally transformed out there. It's +2 on block. Other than that, it's kind of a meh sweep. But what's interesting about it is this forward 1. It's in pretty decent range for just go into that afterwards. So I would be careful of that. Anything that's kind of plus on block is notable in my opinion. The second thing that I think is notable with her is her cartwheel kick. It's a double hitting overhead. And this is fast enough to break armor on a lot of moves. So also Mileena's do this on a lot on Wake Up. Try and catch somebody doing armor and then just break the armor. It does give up her turn at -7, which is fairly safe against most of the cast, outside of anyone that has a 6-framer like Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, for example. But yeah, very good move. It's 19 frame startup, which is like barely reactable. Like I usually just get smacked with this all the time just because I'm like, oh right, overhead, there it is. Haha, it's on the screen. But let's go into her overhead strings and how to counter them. So we'll start there first. So this one here, we have the 1-2, 1+3, and we have the 2-1, 1+3. So again, these are both overhead strings, but you can up block the last hit of each of them to get a full combo punish. Right on the 4th hit there, undo your up block, and remember that you have to do your punish pretty much right away as soon as you hear the little boom from the up block. I don't know how to recreate that sound. Boom, boom. I don't know. I think that was pretty close. And then the 2-1, 1+3, same idea. The mix-up here is that this one is off the 3rd hit, and the first one is off the 4th hit. You do need to kind of make sure that your timing's right, or else you might get caught with your pants down. So that's what you're looking for against Mileena. It's also got standing 3-4, which is a safe overhead at -3. I don't really see too many Mileenas use this move, and there's probably something about it that I'm not getting, but I mean, it's pretty fast. Can't up block the overhead in this string because it won't allow me to change my block fast enough. But -3, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Downside is it does start off a high, so you can just kind of poke underneath it if you kind of can react to her doing that. But the overhead comes out fairly quickly, so if you're too slow, you get smacked. And this technically is an overhead string because she does this kind of teleport where she comes down on top of you. But that will only come out if this move hits. If this move does not hit, then that 3rd attack does not come out. There's no guess there. But she is safe at -4, so that's notable. So in addition to her having overhead, she also has some lows. This is the forward 2, 4, 2, and then forward 2, 4, 3, 3, which both are safe. Actually, forward 2, 1, 2, or 2, 4, 2 is plus on block. You can actually just block it. +2. This one's -7. So the way that I kind of visually see this is I kind of go by the little twirl that she does. If she does twirl into low, twirl into low, okay? If she does no twirl, the overhead's coming. That's how you know it. It's just a little twirl. That's once you get used to Mileena and you kind of see Mileena a lot, even if you just go into practice mode and just set the AI to just do her moves, so you can visually see it, it makes her way less scary and you're going to have a better time blocking her. Then her forward 1 string into these little kicks, little flurry there, could break armor depending on how she wanted to use it. She could use it on Wake Up to just whiff that first attack and come in with multiple ones. So she has some options to shred your armor, so just be aware of that. If you're playing against her in that aspect, then you might want to be careful and maybe reevaluate where you use your meter. You could be using it for something else, like a combo breaker. She does hit pretty hard. She has like 40% combos. A little bit more, like you can use Scorpion for more, but just saying. I'm just saying. So that's her strings in a nutshell. She's got some mix in there, she's got some pressure, she's fairly safe overall. Now let's go into the important part, which is the special moves, and this is how you're going to kind of break her down and kind of fight against her. So starting with a straight Psy, you should know that it doesn't go full screen. This is the first game that I can remember that they've ever done that. So in order to go full screen, she has to use a bar meter, and then she teleports at you. Okay. I had a heck of a time trying to figure out how to punish this thing because I was like, okay, like there's pushback. She's minus 11. There's a little bit of pushback there, so like my moves aren't fast enough. But here's the trick to countering that Psy move. As soon as you block the Psy, go into an up block. Because again, the second hit of this is an overhead. Up block is important, and you're going to get a full combo punish, whatever character you're using. Let's not show off a punish with Mileena. We want Old Chang. Up block. Boom, into full combo. So that's important to know, because if you just kind of let Mileena players get away with that, they're basically getting in on you for free. Or they're closing distance for free because you're not punishing. Not free, I guess. A bar meter, but still, it's pretty strong. So this is a pretty classic move, and it's a pretty classic outcome, the teleport. It's fine to do it if you know it's going to hit, but if you block it, it's death. One thing that I will mention is maybe give it a second just for Mileena to hit the ground before you start your punish, because you'll get more damage that way. You can hit her out of the air if you're a little bit too early, and then I find those cancels, or those combos, sorry, don't get quite the amount of damage. So just give it a quick second. You have 29 frames to punish her, so she can't block right away when she hits the ground, but just knowing that timing and punishing for as max damage as you can, you really want to make her know that she can't do this move against you. She has to be calculated in throwing it out. She can do it from the air as well, so just know maybe they'll try and bait an anti-air out of you and then do the teleport. I don't think this is worth the risk personally, but I've seen it happen, and it is a thing. If this move happens to hit you, it is +6 on hit, and she's kind of right in your face, so she's probably going to try and pressure you with something, or go for one of her mix-up strings. So yeah, just be careful. It's not your turn if she hits you. The enhanced version does a little bit more damage. Not a whole lot. Personally, I think like a restand opportunity by just using the regular one is probably better. But if you're just trying to chip out at the end of the round, then perhaps the enhanced one is where it's at. He also has the upwards teleport. This is a high, so you can just duck this, wait for it to whiff, and then just punish the crap out of her. The problem is that you can't really tell, like the startup animation isn't that different from her other teleport. So she'll kind of try and fake you out of one of these, and the enhanced one actually pops you into the air. She can start doing her air combos, so just be aware of that. But the actual move itself is a high, but given the fact that she also has another teleport, you kind of got to respect it a little bit. But if you read that maybe they've been throwing it out a lot, then just like duck, let go block, and then just full combo punish, because it's really negative. Like her regular one, the low side does not go full screen unless you enhance it, and it does, which is actually a really good move. And considering she kind of crouches down on the ground, it's going to be a really good anti-zoning tool, so just be aware of that. If you get into a projectile war or something with her, you might just try and sneak under like that. Of course, the low knocks down, and then in she goes. That on top of the threat of her teleports and all that kind of other stuff. Mileena's got just like a really complete good tool set. Like, she kind of just does everything well. In the air, her ball roll kind of turns into a projectile attack, which is kind of interesting. Might be able to anti-air you, but I don't really see you getting hit with this just randomly by Mileena players. But, I mean, some of them are kind of maniacal out there, so, I mean, it could happen, but most of the time I just see it as a combo extender, or perhaps an air-to-air if they think that they're going to meet you in the air. Boom, 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 boom. But once you're kind of already up there, you can't block or anything, so it's worth noting there's not really much you can do about it, unless you're grounded and you can block it on the ground, and yeah, she's still at a fairly weird distance for a punish, though. That being said, she is in the -40s off of this, so yeah. If you have some sort of a forward advancing move, or you can dash cancel. Sometimes there's moves in the game that just have a little bit of block, like pushback, and you can just do a dash cancel into your move and get the punish. So I think I'm going to correct myself in the last statement. I think that this move is pretty punishable, but I also don't really see Mileena players just throwing this out, kind of hoping for the best. If they do, now you know how to deal with it. And then lastly, we have the air homing ball, which is just the enhanced ball roll in the sky. And this move, like the move suggests, is going to home in on you. And the longer that she holds it, the more safe she is. She just kind of lets it rock. Minus 27, but if she holds it the whole way, minus 10 with a whole bunch of pushback. You can also just straight up cancel it too, so be aware of that. 45 recovery frames on the cancel, so there's a minute, but I mean, still going to be a bit of a tight punish. On hit, this move actually 2-in-1 cancels into the teleport for a little bit of extra damage, so just be aware of that. That can be tricky. That can be tricky. If you have a character that has any sort of air projectile, like Shang Tsung here, I can just kind of be, whoop. After several failed attempts, just kind of try and smack her out of the sky with it. But again, you have the whole delay and hold and wait, so there's that. That's basically it. That's Mileena's entire moveset, kind of our counters to each thing. Mileena kind of just works with every cameo, so you kind of want to see how her game plan changes depending on what cameo is used. Sector is one that I see with her a lot because he can, upwards and down missiles, kind of keep her safe on a lot of things that she would otherwise be punishable on, because most of her special moves are punishable, and most of her strings are safe, so you're definitely looking for them to throw out unsafe special moves and try and punish them there, or outspace them. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like, because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.